It's time I finally get the whole truth about my cheating wife. And who better to give me the full story than Jason, her sleazy ex-lover? If you love Reddit stories as much as I do, you're in the right place. Take a sec to subscribe. Now, let's dive in. I can't sleep after finding out that my sweet, beautiful 5-year-old princess was actually fathered by some dirtbag my wife cheated on me with. I don't even try to sleep. I just sit in the dark, phone still in my hand, staring at the last message from him. Jason. Yeah, I've always known she was mine. The words won't leave my head. I feel them pressing against my skull, looping over and over until I can't think straight. He knew, he's always known, and yet, for 5 years, he never said a damn word. I inhale slowly, trying to keep my hands from shaking. My whole body feels wired, too tense, like I'm waiting for a fight that hasn't started yet. But it's coming. I can feel it. My mind drifts back to Chloe, to her tiny arms wrapping around my neck at bedtime, to her sleepy little voice whispering, "Love you, Daddy." Does that change now? No. No matter what, she's still my daughter. She's still the little girl who believes I hung the moon. But Jason, he doesn't get to sit this one out anymore. I pull up his number again, my thumbs hovering over the keyboard. I don't know what I want to say. I don't even know if I should say anything. Then, before I can stop myself, I type, "Me. Why didn't you ever tell me?" Minutes pass, long enough that I wonder if he's going to ignore me. Then, finally, "Jason, because it wasn't my problem." I blink. I read the message twice, 3 times, trying to convince myself that I didn't just see what I saw. Not his problem. Not his problem. My chest tightens, anger curling hot in my stomach. This guy, what a piece of shit. My hands are shaking as I type. "Me, not your problem? You let another man raise your kid and never thought once to step up? Jason, Sarah made her choice, and you went along with it. That's not on me." I nearly throw my phone across the room. I squeeze my eyes shut, breathing deep, trying to keep my head clear. This is not the time to lose control. I force myself to sit still, to breathe, to think. Sarah made her choice, and Jason let her. And now I have a choice too. I need to get ahead of this before it blows up, before Sarah and Jason start deciding things for me. Because they will. I know they will. I stand up, grab my car keys, and head for the door. I know exactly where I need to go. As I sit in the car at the parking lot of my lawyer's office, gripping the steering wheel, Jason's words keep repeating in my head. It wasn't my problem. I grit my teeth. Well, it sure as hell is now, buddy. I step out and head inside, my pulse pounding. The receptionist barely has time to look up before I cut in. "I need to see Mark," I say. She hesitates. "He's with a client." "Then tell him it's urgent." Her eyes widen, but she picks up the phone, murmuring something. Less than a minute later, Mark's door swings open. He looks me over once and sighs. "Come in, Mike." I step inside, shutting the door behind me. Mark gestures for me to sit, but I don't. I just pull out my phone, open the messages from Jason, and slide it across his desk. Mark picks it up, reads, then leans back in his chair. Shit. Yeah, my voice is tight. That's where I'm at right now. Mark exhales, tapping a pen against his desk. "All right, what do you want to do?" I sit down, rubbing my face. I don't know yet, but I do know this. I don't trust Sarah, I don't trust Jason, and I need to make sure Chloe isn't caught in the middle of whatever they try to pull. Mark nods. "Smart. Here's what we need to consider." He steeples his fingers. "Legally, you're Chloe's father, you're on her birth certificate, you've raised her, and you've built a parental relationship with her. That matters. You could argue that removing you now would be detrimental to her well-being, which could work in your favor." I tense. Could? What's the catch? He sighs. "The catch is, if Jason decides to step up and push for parental rights, it could get complicated. Courts tend to favor biological parents unless there's a damn good reason not to." I clench my jaw. And if he doesn't want custody? Mark tilts his head. Then we have leverage. Because at the end of the day, this is about who actually wants to be her father. Not just biologically, but legally, emotionally, financially. I nod slowly. And if Sarah tries to use Chloe against me? Mark smirks. Then we make sure she can't. He leans forward. Here's what I suggest. We file for temporary emergency custody of both Ethan and Chloe, on the grounds that Sarah's instability and dishonesty put them at risk. I frown. Would that work? It could, Mark says. It wouldn't be permanent, but it would give us time to build your case. If we show that you are the only consistent, stable parent in their lives, we make it damn hard for a judge to take that away. I nod, my pulse steadying. This is a plan. This is a move. Mark watches me. You ready to do this? I think of Chloe. I think of Ethan. I think of everything I've already lost and everything I refuse to lose next. I look Mark in the eye. Yeah, I say. Let's do it. By the time I pull back into my driveway, the sun is hanging low, bleeding red and gold across the sky. It should be beautiful, peaceful. I don't see it. All I can think about is the conversation with Mark, emergency custody, filing first thing in the morning. I kill the engine and just sit there, staring at my own front door like it's a stranger's house. Everything feels wrong. This house was supposed to be where my kids felt safe, where I felt safe. Instead, it's the battleground for a war I never wanted, and I don't even know how far Sarah is willing to go. I exhale sharply and get out, locking the car behind me. The house is dead silent when I step inside, too quiet, too empty. The kids are staying with my sister tonight. It was my idea. I didn't want them here while I worked this out with Mark. But now, standing in this hollow, lifeless space, I regret it. I walk to the kitchen and pull a bottle from the cabinet. Bourbon, a Christmas gift from a coworker I barely talk to. I twist the cap off and pour myself a drink. Just one. Just enough to take the edge off. I take a slow sip, letting the burn settle deep in my chest. I don't drink often, but tonight it feels necessary. My eyes drift toward the fridge. The magnets are all crooked, barely holding up a mess of drawings and school papers. Chloe's latest masterpiece, a lopsided castle surrounded by what I think are supposed to be unicorns, catches my eye. I swallow hard. Chloe. The thought of her, of what I found out last night, rips something open inside me. I loved that little girl from the second I held her in the hospital, the tiniest thing I'd ever seen, wrapped in a blanket too big for her. I remember staring down at her, wondering how the hell I was supposed to be a good enough dad for someone so perfect. And now I know she isn't mine. I set the glass down harder than I meant to, the sound echoing through the kitchen. Does it matter? It shouldn't. But it does, because Jason knew, because Sarah knew, because they both let me love her, raise her, and never gave me the truth. My phone buzzes, yanking me out of my spiral. I glance at the screen. Sarah. My stomach tightens. I let it go to voicemail. Not even 10 seconds later, a text pops up. Sarah, I know what you're trying to do. I stare at the words, my jaw clenching. Of course she knows. Another text. Sarah, you think you can just cut me out? You think that's what's best for the kids? My fingers twitch. I don't respond. Sarah, I won't let you take them from me. My chest tightens. I exhale, slow and controlled, before I finally type back. Me. Then maybe you should have thought about them before you blew up this family. There's a long pause. I picture her, gripping her phone, trying to come up with the next move. Then something that makes my stomach drop. Sarah, you have no idea what you're starting, Mike. I read it twice. This isn't just desperation. This is a warning. I set my glass down, my hands steady now. Sarah's not backing down. Neither am I.
Damn, this story is crazy. Leave a comment below what you think they should do in this situation. And remember to hit the like button.
It really helps boost the channel and the YouTube algorithm, so more people find us and we can keep bringing you great content. Okay, let's get back to it. It's been 9 weeks since Sarah left. 9 weeks since my life split into before and after. 9 weeks of waking up every morning and feeling that split second of normalcy before the reality of everything hits me like a sledgehammer. Some days, it feels like I'm healing. Other days, it feels like I'm just waiting for the next hit. And tonight feels like the latter. I haven't touched my drink since Sarah's last text, but it's still sitting on the counter, the ice melting into weak, watered-down bourbon. I should pour it out. Instead, I lean against the sink, staring at nothing, forcing myself to breathe. My phone buzzes. Monique. I frown and answer. "Hey, open your damn door," she says. I barely have time to process before there's a knock. I hang up and pull it open. She shoves her phone at me. "You're not gonna believe this." I take the phone, confused, and glance at the screen. It's a screenshot of a text conversation. "Sarah, you owe me." "Jason, do I?" "Sarah, don't act stupid. I kept my mouth shut for years. If you don't want your personal life going public, you're going to help me." I blink. What the hell is this? Monique crosses her arms. Sarah sent it to a mutual friend of ours who does social media, thinking she could help her put this guy on blast online, I guess. My friend forwarded it to me. I read it again, the words sinking in. "You owe me. Kept my mouth shut for years." I glance up. What the hell is she talking about? Monique shakes her head. No idea. But whatever it is, it's big enough that Sarah thinks she can use it to force Jason to get her out of the mess she's made. I stare at the phone, my jaw tightening. For weeks, I couldn't figure out why Jason would give a damn about Sarah's custody fight. He didn't care about Chloe. He didn't even try to be in her life. He sure as hell didn't care about Sarah anymore. But now I'm looking at proof that Sarah has something on him. And Jason? Apparently, Jason isn't the type of guy to let someone hold leverage over him. A slow, burning realization creeps in. He's not helping Sarah because he cares. He's helping her to protect himself. My grip tightens around the phone. This is bad. Monique nods. Yeah, it is. We stand there in silence for a moment, then I exhale sharply and hand her phone back. I need to get ahead of this before he decides to go on the attack. Monique studies me. What's the move? I already know. I need to figure out what the hell Sarah has on him, I say, because whatever it is, it's the only reason he's getting involved. And if I can take that away from her, you take away her only leverage, Monique finishes. Exactly. I check my phone again. No messages from Sarah, nothing from Jason, but they're planning something, and I will not let them blindside me. Yet again, I can't sleep. I sit at my desk, staring at my phone, waiting for Sarah to make her next move. She will. I know her. She's always been a step ahead in the lies, in the manipulation. She's too arrogant to believe I'd ever catch up. But this time, I am ahead of her. I've got my lawyer filing for emergency custody in the morning. Once that's in motion, she won't be able to take Ethan or Chloe without my consent. That's my first strike. My second strike? Jason. Sarah has him on a leash. She's forcing him to help her. But I don't know why yet. That's what I need to figure out. I need to make Jason talk before Sarah pushes him deeper into this mess. By mid-morning, I have a plan. I don't want to do this over the phone. I need to see Jason face to face. I do some digging, pull up his LinkedIn, find out where he works now. Big-time corporate job, regional manager for some finance company. The kind of place that wouldn't want an HR scandal attached to its name. Good. I drive out there, park in the lot, and wait. An hour passes. Then, finally, I see him. Jason steps out of the building in a crisp suit, sunglasses on, looking exactly like the kind of guy who thinks he's too important to be bothered. Too bad for him. I get out of the car and walk straight toward him. He notices me when I'm about 10 feet away, Stops, frowns, surprised, but not scared. I keep my voice even. We need to talk. Jason sighs, tilting his head. Mike, didn't think I'd be seeing you anytime soon. I don't respond, just nod toward a quieter part of the parking lot. To my surprise, he doesn't argue. He follows me, hands in his pockets, casual like this isn't a big deal. We stop near the edge of the lot. You know why I'm here? I ask. Jason smirks. I've got a guess. I take a slow breath. Sarah's trying to use you against me. His smirk falters. That gets a reaction. I keep going. She's playing you. You think you're just doing her a favor, but she's going to drag you into this whole mess. And when she does, you lose, Jason. You lose everything you worked for. Jason exhales sharply. You think I don't know that? Then why the hell are you letting her do it? A pause. Then, finally, Jason looks away. And in that moment, I know Sarah has something on him, something big. I don't push, not yet. Let the silence do the work. Jason runs a hand through his hair, looking frustrated. Listen, man, you think I want to be in this? I don't. But Sarah, she's not letting this go. I raise an eyebrow. Why? What does she have on you? He clenches his jaw, doesn't answer. I nod slowly. So that's it? She's got you in a corner, and you're just gonna let her? Jason exhales. What do you want me to do, Mike? I step closer. Tell me the truth. Whatever she's using to control you, I'll find it anyway. The difference is, if you tell me first, I can use it to help you. Jason studies me. For the first time, he actually looks uncertain. I go for the kill. You know she's going to turn on you the second she gets what she wants, I say. That's who she is. She'll make you fight me, ruin my name, maybe even drag you into a custody battle you don't even want. And when it's over, she'll throw you to the wolves. Jason exhales sharply. Then, after a long moment, fine, he mutters. I'll tell you everything. Jason rubs his temples like he already regrets agreeing to this. All right, he mutters. You want the truth? Here it is. I fold my arms. I'm listening. He exhales sharply, glancing around the parking lot like someone might be watching. I met Sarah at Stonebridge Financial back when we both worked there, he starts. I knew she was already married, but that didn't stop me. Or her. I clench my jaw but say nothing. I was young, dumb, and thought it was just a fun, no-strings thing, until she got pregnant. He lets that hang in the air. I already knew that much, but hearing it from him still makes my blood boil. She swore up and down that the kid was probably yours, Jason continues. And I was 25, man. I didn't want to be a dad, so I took her word for it and walked the hell away. I nod, biting back the bitter words sitting on my tongue. So why is she coming after you now? Jason's mouth tightens. Because of Antonio. I stiffen. He notices and smirks. Ah, so you didn't know. I don't take the bait. Antonio? Antonio? Her boss? Jason chuckles, shaking his head. Yeah, Antonio Holloway, Sarah's boss and my best friend. The pieces start clicking into place, but I stay quiet and let him keep talking. After I left Stonebridge, Antonio started giving her more attention. I think he might have even given her a big raise, considering the new baby and all. I wanted to slap the smug smirk off of his face in that moment, but I wouldn't give him the satisfaction. I didn't need to add an assault charge to my list of problems. Jason continued. He's the type of guy who likes things that belong to other people. Houses, cars, women. I exhale slowly. Jason smirks. Yeah, I found out about them a while back. Antonio called me up one night, drunk as hell, laughing about how he had your wife wrapped around his finger, how she did whatever he wanted, no questions asked, and, oh yeah, how he was also screwing the 20-year-old receptionist. I go still. Jason watches me carefully. So, yeah, Mike, you're out here worrying about me, but Sarah's real loyalty isn't even with me. It's with Antonio. I grip my phone so tightly, my knuckles turn white. Sarah, My wife, the mother of my kids, the woman who's fighting me in court, she's still screwing around. And the man she's sleeping with, he doesn't even respect her. Jason keeps going. Sarah thinks she's in control, but she's just another girl in Antonio's rotation. He doesn't care about her. He never did. I swallow the fury rising in my chest. Then why the hell is she still with him? Jason exhales. Because she thinks he's her ticket out of this mess. Antonio's got money, connections, who knows, maybe she's trying to trap him with a kid too. I stare at him, my pulse pounding. This entire time, I thought Jason was my biggest problem, but now I realize he was just a distraction. Jason shifts uncomfortably. Look, man, I don't want any part of this. I told Sarah to stay the hell away from me. I'm out. I don't want Chloe. I never did. Send the papers to my office. I'll waive any rights you need me to. I exhale, my hands still balled into fists. That's it? I ask. You're just walking away? Jason shrugs. I walked away 5 years ago, Mike. You're the one who's been raising her. You're her dad. I let that settle for a second. Jason's an asshole, always will be. But he's right about one thing. I am Chloe's dad. Not him, not Antonio, me. Jason watches me carefully. That answer all your questions? I nod slowly. Yeah. He claps me on the shoulder. Then end this, before Sarah screws you over worse than she already has. I don't say anything as he turns and walks back toward the building. I can't believe this is my life.
And as usual, that was a lot. Make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a story. See you in the next one.